Aujourd'hui, je vais parler de why it's becoming increasingly hard for wifey and I to catch up on the myriad of streaming shows these days. Ooh. Yeah, Zempak here. So let me start off by saying I like streaming, okay, as a concept, certainly more than the cable concept of yesteryear. I mean, just look at the kind of off-the-wall ideas that streaming giants like Netflix and Amazon has allowed to exist. I mean, anybody remember that show, The OA? A literal mystery thriller type of program where the twist was that you can solve all the world's problems with the power of modern dance. I kid you not. Can you imagine any real networks green-lighting a show like that? Or even, let's talk about Squid Games, right, to be honest, right? A Korean drama all about Korean children's game combined with mass violence / murder. Yeah, just saying these synapses out loud cracks me up, frankly. Okay, but yes, now they do exist in the streaming landscape. It's cool, it's awesome, except when it's not. Now the streaming shows has been around for, I don't know, like a decade now. I'm finding more nitpicks with them than ever. I don't think it's just me, okay? Even my very rule-based wifey agrees. I mean, when we sit down in front of our couch, you know, to hang out every night, our biggest problem these days is just trying to find a reasonable streaming show to finish, I guess. I'm not saying that we don't watch plenty of them, but we do have a real issue finishing a whole bunch of them. So my rant today will outline why that is, for us at least. Maybe it's relatable to y'all out there? I don't know. Okay. So if you enjoy some random rants from a dude with no production skills, clearly like, subscribe, share, comment, or whatever. I'll be great regardless because I just do these for funsies. Hit that bell icon. I don't know where that is because, you know, I'm asking you guys to do something that I don't do on this platform. Yes, that's me, a casual hypocrite about a rather minor internet detail. Okay, so my number one complaint about streaming shows is the wait between seasons. Why so long? Now, this first one I think everyone has felt, even on shows that we like and enjoy a lot, right? I miss that good old network television days where when every show was basically on a regular annual schedule, okay? Premieres the same time of year every year. Now with streaming shows dominating the charts, all gone, that's all gone, okay? Did you like Wednesday or The Boys? Awesome, now you gotta wait, I don't know, a year and a half, maybe 2? Maybe 2 years and 5 months or whatever until you can get your next fix. By the time the next season actually finally starts, guess what? My enthusiasm level for that show has dropped like 95% because I hardly remembered what the heck happened in the previous season. Now for shows that are only mildly successful, I would understand, but here we're talking about actual flagship shows of a lot of these streaming networks. And I really I hate this. Okay, I mentioned Squid Games before. It was super gigantic, huge international success, right? Made outside of the Hollywood system. So you would think it's not like super astronomically expensive to produce, right? Somehow still had more than a single year gap after season 1. And then when it comes back with season 2, literally felt like a little bit more than half of the real season, we're told, hey, now you gotta wait some other random amount of time. That's not quite a year again, and hope for the best. Can you guess what happened to that show in my household? Yeah, okay. Season 3 recently started. We half-heartedly watched 1 episode and then we were confused because we forgot who half of these characters were, and we just kind of gave up on it. This is pretty typical where I live. I can't be the only ones, right? Jesus. My second complaint about streaming shows, number of episodes. Why only 8 to 10 at best? Sometimes even less, okay? Like, WTF. Why are there no consistent 20 plus episodes per season anymore? Look, I'm not saying we all go back to making shows with a ton of filler episodes for the sake of padding the story all the time, but there's a huge difference between when network shows dominated and we had like 20 hours of output every year and where we are now, where if a show is considered a fancy prestige type title, they only make like about 8 hours of content before taking a break. I mean, prime example, look at all these House of the Dragons shows. or whatever. Okay, actually, I could have said the same thing about the original Game of Thrones as well. Okay, all this does is make me want to wait until there's at least 3 seasons of any show. Yeah. So in my mind, I'm like saving up the same amount of viewing pleasure that I literally would have had with a single season of, say, I don't know, Supernatural on regular TV from a decade ago. Sure, maybe quality of the shorter seasons is a little bit better, but is it 3 times better? Absolutely in no way in hell would that be a yes. Yeah, that's just no, okay? Make more shows, take less breaks. What are these people doing? I cannot imagine the actors are happy about this either. Don't they get paid like per episode? Right? Is it that they don't want to get stuck on a show for too long? Like, you know, I use Supernatural as an example. You know, those 2 dudes were on it for like a decade. Is that a big deal? Like, you don't want consistent work? Jesus. And my third point, kind of random or absurd runtime. Seriously, this one is kind of bizarre to me, especially, you know, on shows like 90 Day Fiancé. Every episode's like an hour and 40 minutes at this point. Like, why? Like, oh, actually, I do know on that show specifically why, because they're trying to shortchange their reality stars, right? Because I read somewhere that the participant gets paid per episode. So yeah, you know, TLC just shoots these shows literally for very long episodes so they can pay their own people less money. Lovely setup. Definitely not a scam. But it's not just reality shows, right? Regular scripted shows, especially on streaming, has the same type of problems, right? Because it doesn't have to be on regular networks with their televised time restraints, which is usually either 30 minutes or like 60 minutes, right? These fewer episodes of seasons already can vary a lot, you know, even in between the 6 to 8 to 10 episodes, right? Maybe 40 minutes for one normal episode, and then the next one could be like 70. I mean, why even bother editing? I mean, look, I'm not one to complain when an episode is longer than usual, right? But especially if it's a show I like. But then you better believe I feel a short change literally the next week when the episode dips down in runtime by like 20% for no discernible reason. It actually makes it harder for me to plan my home stuff since I don't know whether this is an hour show or like half an hour show, okay? But maybe that's just me and my OCD. I digress. So in conclusion, hey, I'm not saying I want to go back to the old school model where every show had a ton of more episodes that follows a very rigid schedule 100% of the time, right? But I sure wish somebody out there would still make a solid, doesn't have to be great, just solid show that actually lasts 20 episodes every year. And I can treat streaming shows as the miniseries rather than the regular TV seasons that they actually are. This way I can still have my weekend binges, you know, sometimes you just want to knock out a miniseries real quick over weekend. But I won't be too sad when said streaming shows disappear forever, because cancellation, of course, is always a possibility on streaming due to how much crap gets greenlit in the first place, right? Oh boy. Am I off my rockers? Do you guys disagree? Feel free to yell at me below. Until next time, cheers. A la Protion.